All right, welcome back. This is Amuna. This is noteworthy, and I came across this and thought it was something right up my alley as it deals with basically what I call solonomics, right? So there was a headline that Crystalline speaks out amongst, something sensational. But essentially what she did was post it on her Instagram, and she said, correcting and healing the mindset that attracted and tolerated them for so long. Thank you for being exactly what my growth needed to be for me, but now I release you. Now, there's some keywords that, something like healing that people will skip over when they don't realize that we, to a certain degree, based on our traumas, our expectations, our life, we attract or are attracted to something that's going to reinforce or give us the feeling that we are accustomed to. So she says, correcting and healing the mindset. It's a mindset, it's an energy, it's a vibration. I'm going to read a little bit of what the article goes into, but I thought that was important to point out, because beyond looking at what's going on in other people's lives, we, the people, have to realize, we don't have to, it behooves us, I like to say that, to realize that our experiences are something that to a certain degree we attract based on where we are. Now, I have, to rain on people's parade a little bit in saying that the healing conversation that I need to heal, it takes a while. There's some stories that say the amount of time that you've been carrying that injury or that pain, that's how long it's going to take you to heal. So while it's good on one hand to hear that she's aware that healing needs to take place, it's also even more important to be aware of what you're healing, right? And that can be a process of months, weeks, years, even decades, to actually find out what's the original trauma, what's your storyline, where it's coming from. And that is what I have been doing for well over 2 decades, is being on this. So basically, their article says, seeking sister wife Crystalline Peterson breaks her silence amid abuse scandal and divorce filings, right? And it's like they act like she talked to somebody, but in real, she just posted to her Instagram page. So she's correcting and healing, right? And that she's releasing. And that takes time. If we premature release something, then it's going to come back in another form and in another way. She will manifest not the Snowdens themselves, but somebody in their like and kind who sees her vulnerability. So I pray that she's really on a healing path, right? And that she takes the time for herself and her children to go through her past, that of her family, and really understand what was the allure. Right? What was the attraction? What was in her that, made her and allowed her to make the choices that she made. So the good thing is that she's willing to do so. So this basically is the article, and they're making note that she changed her hair and all of the very superficial things. But one thing I must say, even on my journey, is that especially with women, and I think that Ashley, even in looking at the way she cut her locks off, and I've cut my locks off several times when I was uncertain and searching. And so I definitely understand the connection between cutting your hair, even if you don't have locks, but cutting your hair and starting over and releasing certain energy that oftentimes is trapped in our hair, in our DNA, right? So cutting your hair or changing your hair oftentimes symbolizes a transition. Not always, but often. So once again, I just wanted to stop and have that conversation. There's a lot going on the screen here. But yeah, are you doing what you need to do in your own life to assess what you've been through and what you've attracted and what you've allowed, and what are the steps that you're taking to release that? I'll leave you with that. I want to thank you for tuning in.